Hello YouTube, it's Carlos the Rook, and I'm bringing you round 3 in Chess Zone Summer Classic. In this round, I'm rated 1658, and I play Bihan Singh. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's rated 1402. So I start off with the white pieces, e4, he go e5, knight f3. Are we going to get it? Yes, we get a Spanish. Knight f6, bishop b5, my favorite open, here comes the Spanish. a6 hitting the bishop. Bishop falls back to a4. Knight f6 hitting the pawn on e4. I castle. The knight can take it if it want to, but it'd be a very dangerous move. So he go b5 hitting the bishop. The bishop fades back to b3. Bishop e7 blocking the king. Now the knight can take this pawn, so I need to protect it. Rook e1 protecting the pawn. He castles. And I go c3. My idea is to get the bishop out in case the knight go a5 and d4 challenging black center. So black goes d6. And here we go into known theory, which is the Chigorin variation. So I go h3. So I'm inviting black to play knight to a5, bishop c2, c5, d4, queen c7. So that's all theory. However, he plays a move that I know, but that I've only seen once before. Like 2.5 years ago, I seen this move. He plays h6. So I immediately play d4, e captures, c captures, d5, e5, hitting the knight, knight e4. And here I pause because I'm thinking about the game. I played this game. This is the exact same position I got in the game with Archer. And so I was trying to remember the game from Archer. I remember in that game I went knight c3 and Archer went bishop f5. So this is in my prep. But I knew then that knight c3 the computer agreed with it. But since I got Stockfish 18, I can remember if the computer still liked knight c3. So when I went back to my prep, because I had the game in my head, knight c3 isn't the best move in this position. Knight on b to b2 is the best. So this is what I should have played, knight to b2 instead. But I played what I played in the game against Archer. So I went knight c3. He captures. I capture back. And now he goes bishop f5, putting his bishop on a great diagonal. So I go knight h2. And my idea here is to reroute the knight. I want to bring the knight to e3, hitting that bishop, make that bishop fall back. So now you go knight a5, hitting this bishop, and I don't want to trade bishop for bishop. And here I'm thinking like if the knight takes, I can take with the a pawn, open up my rook. That's what I was thinking initially. So I go ahead with my plan, knight f1, knight captures. So now I'm thinking I can actually capture with my queen and I can pressure this d pawn here. So I can pressure this d pawn and I can always still go knight e3, hitting at this bishop, forcing that bishop back. So I capture with the queen. The engine preferred the first line, which was my natural instinct, a capture. So here we go, c6 to protect the pawn. And now I go knight e3, hitting the bishop. The bishop goes to e4. I really don't like it there. So now the engine wants f3 right away, but I was thinking f3, then he has bishop to d3, and from there he can lock the bishop into c4. So, and I didn't want the bishop just to be locked in there and just have a permanent spot iron on my f1. So that's why I decided to go queen d1 first. And here now the bishop, when I go f3, the bishop can't go to d3. So he responds bishop g5, hitting at the knight. And here I go f3, hitting the bishop. Stockfish doesn't like that. Stockfish wanted a5. It didn't like bishop g5. It wanted a5 instead of bishop g5. For f3. Did it like f3? No, it wasn't knight f1. It wasn't me getting knight out the line of fire and trade bishops. Yeah, it wanted me to get the knight out of here and trade bishops. That's crazy. That's just moving backwards, losing tempo. So I went f3. Bishop falls back to g6. And now here I was trying to decide what to play. I went g3 because my idea is to go f4 and then f5. So that's why I went g3. But the engine's saying I could have went rook f1 and that same idea holds true. And with the rook f1, I can go f4, f5, and I'm not disrupting the pawns in front of my king. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. That makes much more sense now that I looked at it. But I didn't see that in the game. So I went g3. And here he takes the bishop. So I had to think, do I want to capture with the rook and do a rook lift, or do I want to capture with the bishop? I captured with the bishop. Queen d7. The whole point of capturing with the bishop was keeping the queen off of g5. And now I go g4. Start moving these pawns up. He bring the rook over. And here I go a3. So I thought about 20 moves in that position. And my idea was a3. I don't want to go. I had to just fight the impulse for a4. Because a4 is going to give him a pass pawn. And then it's going to be whether or not I can win it or not. If I can't win it and we trade pieces, I'm going into an endgame with against a pass pawn, which I didn't like. So my idea was rook here to here. And I'm lined up against the king. So it's going to be a similar theme to like King's Indian defense, which I play. So I wanted to do a rook lift this way and bring this rook into the in front of the king. It also gives me king protection and it helps with an attack on the king. So he plays f6, and I figured he will play f6. So my idea behind f6 was f4 because I want to be able to take back with the pawn and have my pawn chain intact. And now he goes f5, which I thought was a good move, stopping me from playing f5 because I definitely wanted to play f5. So I go ahead with my rook a2 idea. He captures. I capture back. And my idea now is still f5. The queen's protecting the g-pawn. And here he brings his bishop back in, e4, stopping me from going rook g2. So I go next best thing, rook h2. So now instead of f5, g5 is an idea. Queen e7, he's bringing his queen over, trying to get some protection. And he's also real tricky. He's hitting my a3 pawn. And I knew that pawn was going to be a weakness when I decided to push it with a3 and to bring the rook over. But I had this move in the chamber, bishop c1, that protects that pawn. So now the bishop fades back and is doing double duty. It's protecting this pawn here, it's protecting this pawn here. And if in the event that this h-file open, this bishop can sack here. So that's also a possibility. So he played king h7, and I really didn't like king h7. I think his idea was bringing the rook over onto the g file and the line up against my king in case this file comes open. He wants to have a rook there to check. The engine says c5 keeps the balance. C5 breaking at the pawn chain. That's interesting. Then black gets some open files also. He could bring a rook to the c file. So I go rook f1, moving the rook over, and my idea is just to bring the rook over here, and I can push it, and so his rook won't dominate if the f file opens up. And here he blunders. He plays g6. g6 is just absolutely wrong. g6 isn't the right move, and I immediately see what I have to play. f5. f5, which I wanted a long time ago, hitting there. This bishop hits that pawn. this rook is also hitting that pawn. It's a double attack here. You take on f5. I got a check there. I can take back. Rook coming here. Queen's coming in. I just got all types of action coming. So he captures on f5. The agent's saying he should have did h6, and then it would have been f6. He was saying that was the agent saying that's the best line of defense. It's completely losing, but he was saying that was Black's best line of defense. And I had that in mind that if he pushed, I'm pushing f6. And I got connected past pawns. This pawn chain is just devastating. Then I can actually open up this way, and all my pieces are coming in. It's saying if G captures h5, G captures back, king f2, rook g8. It's giving alternate lines. So he captures on f5. I take on rook on h6 check. The ancient actually wanted bishop captures h6. But I didn't like that line, because I felt like it's saying king g8 here. It's fluctuating between king g8 and queen f7. But I just felt like that when I capture on f5, my king is going to be open. So I didn't like that line there. So that's why I went with the rook, forcing this king to come back on this file so he don't get a check when I take here. So he goes king g7. I capture back. He captured with the bishop. And here, chess.com gave me a brilliant for this move. Rook captures f5. He sacrifices the rook. Yeah. So when he take the rook back, queen g4 check. Rook blocks the check. I take with the bishop hitting the queen. And here Vihan resign. So I got a pretty good attack here. I developed my pieces. Came up with a plan to swing the rook over. Back a few moves ago, and when he blundered with the g6 move, I instantly saw the tactic f5. So that shows you why doing tactics is very good. So I got another win. That's 2 in a row in this tournament. Just following the principles, develop your pieces, and then launch your attack afterwards. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. Tell your friends and family, and let's grow the channel. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.